Hello, YouTube, and welcome to The Real Siberius. On this episode, I wanted to talk about the 10 biggest issues in the modern NBA today. So let's get into it. Okay, the first problem is load management. I did not go to an NBA game for over 20 years. I think it may have been 22 years exactly, but for over 20 years. And the very first time I decided to go to a game, Uh, it was the Clippers and 76ers. Four starters didn't play. That's load management. I don't think anything else really needs to be said about that other than the fact that you can spend your hard earned money to go to a game and the people that you want to see play don't. That's a problem. Two, team hopping. Uh, Sometimes it's hard for me to even know who's on what team now. They go to so many teams. I don't. How many teams has James Harden been on? How many teams has Kevin Durant been on? It's ridiculous, and I think that that's a problem. Number three, guaranteed salaries. I think when you guarantee any player in any sport their salary, what's their incentive to play if it's guaranteed? If they know that if they sprain their toe and they can take 2 months off and they're still going to make their money, what's their incentive to push through injuries or discomfort and continue to play? I think that's a serious problem. Four is collusion. This has to be an issue. I mean, I think the Mavericks proved that collusion has to be an issue. How could they get rid of Luka to the Lakers and then lo and behold get the first pick in the draft? I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that. There absolutely has to be some form of collusion. When AD went to the Lakers, uh, that has to be some form of collusion, and then the Pelicans get the first round pick. It's just happened so many times, it's impossible for it to be a coincidence. Again, that's a serious problem. Number five, no loyalty, which I think also goes into team hopping. I genuinely think that Luka probably would have played his entire career with the Mavericks. I think that was his intention, and I think he was genuinely hurt when he got traded away. So I certainly can't hold that against him. Uh, but across the league as a whole, I think there is no loyalty whatsoever. I think the loyalty is to the money, is to the fame, and not to the team that made you rich and famous. And I think that's a huge issue. Number six, no rivalries. I personally grew up watching basketball in the 80s and 90s, and there were so many rivalries. I mean, Lakers Celtics, Bulls Knicks, Bulls Pistons. I mean, there's just, you could go on and on and on. There were just countless rivalries. And when those teams played together, you knew it was going to get physical. You knew that it was going to be personal. And whoever lost was going to be pissed and we're going to try to take it out on the team the next time they face them. So no rivalries is a disappointment. That was a huge part of the excitement of turning on a game and knowing that two teams that quite frankly hate each other's guts were going to beat the hell out of each other. That's what made it exciting. Number seven, lack of leadership. I think this is a huge issue. There's a lot of stars. There's not a lot of leadership. When Michael Jordan was drafted to the Bulls in '84, he was essentially teamed up with a bunch of misfits. It was hard to watch. Other than Jordan, it was hard to watch. But due to his leadership, his ability to take control of that team, even from his first year starting as a rookie, and just elevate the play of everyone around him, showing them that, yeah, okay, when we're down in a game, we're not going to give up. The game isn't over. We're going to continue to fight and we're going to continue to try to win. If we lose, we lose. We take our lumps, we come back and we try harder. But we're not going to give up. And holding people accountable. When players weren't playing up to their potential, either getting on them and making their life hell until they stepped up their game. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a huge lack of that in the modern NBA, and it's sad. It genuinely disappoints me. Number 8, no grit. And this actually falls into a number of these. It certainly falls into load management. It certainly falls into guaranteed salaries. It falls into no loyalty, no rivalries, lack of leadership. It pretty much falls into all of these. Um, when I think of grit, I certainly think of Michael Jordan playing against the Pistons. And he was just getting his ass whipped over and over again, both physically and on the court. And rather than giving it up and jumping to another team with more success, he just continued to fight it out and take his lumps, because he knew, I just need a few of the right pieces in place and for everybody on my team to toughen up, and we can get past these guys. And that's exactly what they did. I also, when I think of grit, I think of John Stockton. Played 82 games, 16 seasons, or maybe it was 15 seasons, and in the 16th season it was the shortened season of, I can't even remember the year, but he played all 53 games, or he still played every game of the season. He once got on a car wreck or car accident on the way to the game and was a little bit banged up, and he still played. To me, that's grit. That's, my convictions are stronger than my excuses, and I'm here to play. I get paid to play, so I'm going to play. Number 9, it's just boring. I even tried to watch the finals this year, and I just didn't care. It's just chucking up threes. It feels like there's a lot of foul baiting just to get to the line, and the 3-second rule in place and the no hand checking. Who cares? Who cares about your box score when there's no defense, real defense to play against? And I heard so many people say that there's so much more physicality in the playoffs now than there has been over the past few years. And let's just say that's true. It's still a huge disappointment. I constantly hear about, the whole done with the 90s, and that players today are bigger, stronger, faster, and more skilled. Prove it. As current players, with the player empowerment that's been going on in the NBA for way too long, demand that they bring back 80s and 90s rules and prove that you can do it under those same circumstances. You won't, because you know you can't, but prove it. Put your money where your mouth is. Play with hand checking. Play with big men in the paint. And let's see what you can do. Because the reality is, James Harden isn't putting up 30 points a game with hand checking and no 3-second rule. That's just not going to happen. I was going to say, if they call traveling, if they call offensive fouls like they did in the 80s and 90s, I'm not saying that there aren't players that couldn't make adjustments and fit into those same standards and be successful, but I think largely the league as a whole, I don't think that's possible. Which falls into 10, there are no competitors. When I watch, well, I should say try to watch the All-Star game, there's no competition going on. I was going to say, people were talking about Karl Anthony Towns putting up 50 points or whatever. Well, who gives a shit? There was nobody even trying to stop him. It was basically 10 guys on the court letting them get highlights off of each other. I don't know. I couldn't even watch the entire game because it was just embarrassing. I don't feel like people want to win anymore. I think there's two camps. There's love winning and hate losing, and I don't think either of those camps exist anymore. I think loving to win is great. I think hating to lose is more important. And Jordan hated to lose. Bird hated to lose. Magic hated to lose. All of the all-time greats hated to lose. Everybody loves winning. I don't even think that's subjective. I think everyone loves winning, but not enough people hate to lose. Anyway, these are my 10 problems with the modern NBA. I'd be curious to see or hear what anyone has to say in the comments. If you're not already, please like and subscribe. I'd certainly love to hear what you think of these videos. If you have any suggestions for videos or suggestions for formatting, I apologize if the sound sounds a little bit weird on this video. My mic broke, so I'm having to use my headset, and it may not sound as good, or it may sound better. I don't necessarily know. Uh, anyway, as always, I want to give a shout out to the content creators that inspired me to create this channel. Uncommon Sense, Angry Old Hoops, Self Research NBA Facts, 93Z, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Scap Attack, The Basketball Show, Speam Engine, and In Your Face Hoops. All of you have contributed to me starting this channel, and I'm extremely grateful that you did. It's been exactly what I've wanted to do for a very long time, but quite frankly didn't have the balls. So I appreciate all of you for your inspiration, for your takes, and for your humor. And I'll see you guys in the next one.